I'm going to cause Dark to come in here to find out why she should not be found in contempt for falsely swearing that she personally served a defendant that she did not.
Wow. I'm going to play that again for you in context so you can see the whole thing. But process server is fired by teleconference, has no idea it's happened, and actually never going to work there again. Lost her whole career. Hi, this is Larry Kaye with ShadowAnyone.com. I'm the creator of the Investigator's Ultimate Guide series, including the Investigator's Ultimate Guide to Process Serving. This is such a good example of when you don't serve process correctly. And beyond that, this is just beyond the pale. Let's get into it and take a look at what happened. This is a case of a man presumed innocent because he has not been found guilty, but he's being charged with murder. But what we're looking at here is a separate case that's civil litigation where somebody is suing him for $5,000 and change. And of course, at some point, a process server was hired to serve process on this guy. The process server says she swore out an affidavit, I served this guy personally. Unfortunately, the cat was in jail at the time, and the judge knows that, and everybody knows that. Okay, that's some of the backstory there. Let's jump into what affects you as a process server. Bear with me. It's going to seem like a few seconds of overlap of what you just saw, but watch it. This is very worth it.
I'm going to show cause to come in here to find out why she should not be found in contempt for falsely swearing that she personally served a defendant that she did not. But that's a separate issue.
Is there any indication he was served at the jail? I thought there was some
No,
discussion.
there's not. This is a proof of personal service sworn to by this officer that she personally served him at Blythe Road.
And notice, at least in this county, in this area, she's an officer of the court. I can't say for certain that that's the case everywhere that you would be serving process, but you are appointed by the court to serve process on the person either way. But and if in your area you're not technically an officer of the court, this still applies to you. It will jam you up if you lie under oath for a return of service.
And as you know, our local process server, Sergeant Bruce Morse, has an impeccable record.
Now, look at this too. A lot of law firms will use the county deputies, or I presume this guy is a deputy, maybe he's a court bailiff, but using a government employee to do this. Kind of, why would anyone go with a private process server as opposed to them? Law firms have their reasons, and there are plenty of private process servers out there making good money doing this right now. I mean, $65 plus per pack. But one thing is that the city or the county officials or the court officials, they do cost more. And I never believe in competing based on price. But let me tell you, if you can get quicker service, better service, the way the law firm wants it, and you're charging them, $20 less per pack, that's a big deal, because the government process servers, be it a bailiff, deputy, whatever, they get backlogged, they get tied up, and so the service may not go through as quickly as law firms want. So there's great reasons, predominantly really good service from us private process servers, for them to hire us. And that can include little things like you're getting a copy of the certified return of service and returning it to the law firm so they have it in their file right away. That kind of thing. Let's take a look at a little bit more here.
And I trust him implicitly. I have a lot of out-of-county process servers that I do not trust, and I've barred some of them from serving process in St. Joe County.
A lot of out-of-county process servers he does not trust. Yeah, don't be one of those guys.
Well, I entered a default on February 22nd, but in true fact, he was not. I entered it on the basis that he was personally served, but he was not. So, Mr. Martin, are you agreeable to allow this judgment to stand, that you owe $5,561.20? As a practical matter, you may not be in a position to pay it back for a while, depending on what happens with your case. But are you willing to allow that judgment to stand?
Yeah.
Okay, this happens a lot. If a person does not show up for court for their civil litigation, the judge will frequently issue a default judgment for the plaintiff, for the person who does show up, for the person who's filing suit. And that's the case here. The judge looked, he said, well, This guy had fair notice. He was personally served. He's not here. I'm listening to the side that is here. Based on what I'm hearing, I'm giving a default judgment to the plaintiff. So this guy lost his lawsuit because he did not know that this was even going on.
Martin, I'll allow this judgment to stand.
Okay, I mean, $5,000 is the least of this guy's worries right now. So, but this could have been an extenuation of a case, and I've seen this happen where service of process is called into question legitimately, and it's a problem, and everything goes sideways. And think about if the person and when the person does say, "Yeah, no, I want to challenge this." Now the plaintiff's side has to show up again. If you're a little guy in small claims court or something, you got to take a day off work. But even if you are a person of means, now you've got to bring in attorneys again. What do they charge per hour? They're going to be there. It's a whole thing.
And I'm going to separately do an action regarding this process server who swore that they personally served you when they did not.
He's taking the side of someone accused of murder over a process server, an officer of the court. Why? Because in this case, she's clearly out of line, arguably broken the law. Perjury is a criminal offense. This is just, things can fall apart for you. Don't fudge things when you're doing service of process. Know how to do it. If you just want to know the quickest, easiest way to learn it all and get into it, then the Investigator's Ultimate Guide to Process Serving, that is for you. Check it out at ShadowAnyone.com. But this is a case where clearly this person, I bet you, knows very well what she should be doing, and for whatever reason chose not to. And not just a failure of serving process, couldn't get to the guy, ran out of time, my water heater broke, kid in the hospital. Not that. Actually went that extra step to go and swear out that she did it. And you collected money for doing that, which I would say is fraud. They don't even talk about that here.
Your Honor, if you don't mind, could you also provide my office with a notice to appear for the show cause hearing? I'm not familiar with this process server, and I'd like to appear because I'm with you. If they're not doing things proper, I'm, we'll find somebody else.
Okay, by the way, even if somehow she talks the court into not barring her from serving process ever again, her client is done with her. She just got fired. You just watched a process server get fired for, I don't even want to say negligence. It's beyond negligence. Okay, if that all is what it appears to be from just what we have here, but you just watched a process server essentially get fired. That attorney's mind is made up. She's not getting another call from that guy to serve process. And if you're a private investigator and you serve process because A, you like the money on the side, or B, it's how you get your foot in with law offices and pick up all their investigative work. And I did that over and over again. Oh, you've just lost not just your process serving, but you've lost your private investigation business from that law firm. And you think these men and women don't talk to each other? You don't think they don't know what's going on? And if he ever takes a case where you were the process server or private investigator on the opposing side, he's going to zero in on that and bring into doubt your integrity and the truthfulness of any statement or report you bring. You're done. You're out of business as a process server. You're out of business as a private investigator.
This has come up several times. I had a process server that was getting second summonses and then claimed that he had visited the places, and I set a blanket hearing and about 22 people showed up, all of whom had not been personally served. And I don't remember if I found a contempt with other sanction, but I barred that process server from serving process in St. Joseph County.
You don't have to take my word for it. Here's a magistrate, a judge, and I'm telling you, these things happen. And notice, he may not have held the guy in contempt. He may not have brought perjury charges. He may not have charged, the attorneys might not have charged the guy with fraud for receiving funds for work he didn't do, but he was barred. He still lost his job. That's the least you can expect if you cheat on these things. If you say you personally served somebody process and you didn't, you're done. You're done. It will catch up with you. Now, what if you can't? What if they're not home? Okay, all of that I cover in my course. It's beyond the scope of this lecture. But this is not rocket science. This is not hard stuff. You're delivering papers to people. Maybe on some of your harder cases, you're skip tracing. Maybe on some of the harder cases, you're staking out his place until he shows up, or his girlfriend's place until you can follow her to where he is. I mean, those are extraordinary cases, and they pay hundreds of dollars more, because you're not just serving process delivering papers. There you're dealing with a refuser. Again, it's all covered in my course, but if you have trouble, if you're finding difficulty serving somebody, don't hide it, don't lie about it. Just go to your client, just go to the attorney and say, I've been out there 3 times, 3 different days, 3 different times a day. I got nothing. Is it okay if I leave it with his wife? You can say, look, I've been out there 5 times on 4 different days, and the guy's not answering the door. Is it okay if, how do you want to handle this? Not rocket science. This is I didn't intend this video to be a mini course on serving process. I intended it to be as a real world warning, but learn from this.
And this does disturb me. So I will do an order to show cause to process server, because you may not want to use them anymore.
Exactly.
Think about the psychology involved in this, by the way. The judge is saying you may not want to use them anymore. He's saying exactly. Even if he gets back to the office and changes his mind or hears a sob story, he's already verbally said this. He's not going to want to show up again. This is the way human beings are. Once we verbally confirm something out loud, we tend to stick with it, right?
If you're needed as a witness, I suppose we could always summon you, but I have evidence that you were incarcerated at the time they alleged they served you, and that should be sufficient. All right, good luck, sir.
Notice the judge is prepared, if necessary, to pull this man accused of murder, out of jail to court or video conference, however he's going to do it. He's prepared to go that far if he needs to use him as a witness against a process server. How far down do you got to go that the key witness against you is someone accused of murder? Her career is over. Don't let it happen to you. Okay, that was like a workout for me. Sorry. Here's the cool down period. It ain't that hard. This is fairly easy work. It's money that you can make basically on your time. You choose kind of more or less when you want to go out and serve people. You say, I want to be on this side of town serving people this afternoon, or tomorrow I'm going to be up north. I might as well bring these packets with me, that type of thing. I used to carry a tackle box and rod and reel in the trunk of my car, and I'd go out and I'd try someplace, and I said, well, there's a lake nearby. I'd go fishing for a while, go back a couple hours later, try again. Not that hard, and it's pretty decent money. If you got any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. In the meantime, this is Larry Kaye with ShadowAnyone.com. Remember, do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing, and it ain't that hard.